Hi guys, and welcome to a brand new makeup transformation of a character with fins inspired by Pokemon Go, the game that I'm addicted to that is sweeping the nation. If you haven't heard about this, where have you been? Have you been living under a rock? Have you seen people out and about on their phones trying to catch Pokemon on their phones? It's like The Walking Dead, but with people on their phones playing this game because it's so addicting. My favorite Pokemon is Vaporeon, so I decided to do a makeup transformation of Vaporeon, and that's what we're going to do today, become blue. Vaporeon's my favorite because it's like a mix of a fox with a mermaid. I feel like it's one of the closest Pokemon to a mermaid ever, that's why I love it. And Eevee's just my favorite Pokemon because it could transform into so many different things, or should I say evolve. I've been watching Pokemon since I was a wee child. I had the whole binder full of Pokemon cards. I knew the whole entire Poke Rap. I used to sing it and watch it every single morning. I am so obsessed. So as a hardcore Pokemon fan, I really had to do my dedication to Pokemon. I didn't want to just do Pikachu. I wanted to do my favorite Pokemon. So why not paint myself as Vaporeon? Enough with the chit chat. Let's get started and paint ourselves as Vaporeon. I'm so excited. I'm going to put my hair in a low ponytail. And I'm going to braid my hair so that it lays more flat on my back because we're going to put a bald cap on. And no, I'm not naked. I'm using a cover-up of like an old sweater because I lost my old cover-up. And to further prep my hair for a bald cap, I am going to hairspray my baby hairs to death, hoping they won't peek through the bald cap. But you know, they always make an appearance. And then I'm going to get my bald cap, and of course it's way too big for my head, so I'm going to cut it to my head shape, and I am not going to have my ears peek through. I'm going to make sure that it smooths over my ears because we want a flat surface to glue on all types of things on our actual head later. Make sure you do not cut your eye or your ears while cutting the bald cap. You don't have to put a bald cap on, you could just have your hair smoothed back in a ponytail, but I would suggest the bald cap if you want to make it look more authentically like Vaporeon. Once your bald cap is correctly cut to the size of your head, or roughly what you think your head shape is, I'm going to put some top guard down so that whatever adhesive we use for this bald cap, it will easily, or more easily, come off later. And then I'm going to use this fancy adhesive called Telesis, which is a medical grade glue. If you do not have Telesis, because girl, it is so pricey, it's like the Kim K of prosthetic adhesives. You could definitely use Prozade instead. And then I'm going to stipple the edges of the bald cap with some liquid latex, and I'm using a red sponge because I feel like red sponges give more a texture on the bald cap that blends in with your natural skin textures. And since we flatten the hairs on our actual scalp part of our head, why not flatten the hairs above our eyes, our eyebrows? I'm using glue stick to flatten our eyebrows and then powder it with 2 layers this time. You could do 3 or how many ever you want. You just want to make sure each layer is completely dry before you put another layer of glue and powder on. Now, I'm just getting a white eyeliner pencil and drawing on the stencil outline of Vaporeon's face. I did it a little bit too small at first. I feel like I need the eyes lower and bigger and the mouth just in a different angle on my face. Vaporeon has this top headpiece, some angular eyes, and a big open mouth. I fiddled with this a lot. You want this mouth of Vaporeon to go below your bottom lip and start at the bottom part of your nose. But once you think you have a rough sketch of the outline of Vaporeon's facial features, I am going to get some orange tone and skin tone like cream foundation concealers. This is from my Poise multitasking creams. I'm using the orange tone first to cancel out all my dark eyebrow hairs. We don't want it to peek through into the paint. And then I'm going to use a more skin tone foundation and then powder all that down to have a smooth surface that won't have our eyebrows peeking through the paint. Once you're done concealing those eyebrows, I'm going to get some dark blue aqua paint and start painting on the top portion design of Vaporeon's head. This part makes Vaporeon look like a superhero. I'm not sure exactly which one, but it reminds me of a helmet of someone from X-Men, maybe a little bit of Magneto. And you want to make sure that you stop that top dark blue portion right above where your natural ear is, because we're going to glue on different ears around there later. It's really hard to work with aqua paint on top of a bald cap. You can use some sort of castor oil type mixture before to make sure that the paint adheres to your bald cap, but I just make sure I have very opaque, semi-thick layers on the bald cap because you want to make sure that your hair color and textures don't come through the bald cap. You don't want it to look like you painted your hair blue. You want it to look like a smooth blue surface, like the top of Sonic the Hedgehog's bald head. It really helps to use a hairdryer in between aqua paint layers because we're going to move on to the other layer once this is dry of a light sky blue aqua paint. You're going to paint this right below that dark blue design and around the eye outlines that we drew on of Vaporeon earlier. I always struggle with not switching makeup brushes when I'm supposed to, but I would get a smaller makeup brush to get the detail around the eye and around that mouth. And you want to get your entire face and on your natural ear over that bald cap area, right under the dark blue. Once you're done painting your face, you also want to move down to your neck and even your chest and shoulders. I'm just going to paint all of my chest and shoulders this color. You could paint it different colors of blue or those blue scales that Vaporeon has. I'm just doing like a mixture of this solid light blue, sky blue color because I really want to focus on the face, and we're going to have a huge collar that's going to cover most of your chest area later. And now that we're starting to look like an all blue Mega Man, and I'm painting highlight parts on my face, I forgot to record when I started painting this. My camera was acting up almost as much as the actual Pokemon Go app does. I'm bringing more of that dark blue aqua paint further into that highlight color because I felt like it needed it proportionally. Anyways, I got a light blue, almost white cream paint and doing more of those highlights above the other eye. Now I'm just making my own dark blue, almost grayish tone shadow color that's going to go on the other side of the face using cream paints. You want to drag this to the bottom of your chin as well. With the dark blue aqua paint, I'm just getting a smaller brush and doing fine details of the edge to make sure it's nice and sharp since we look like a creepy merman villain all of a sudden. Now I'm just getting a dark burgundy lipstick and starting to paint in the mouth of Vaporeon. Like I said, you want Vaporeon's mouth to start right below the tip of your nose, onto your nostrils, onto the upper lip, and you want to stop right below your bottom lip. It's going to be like a V formation. You're going to have this burgundy paint stop right in the middle of that though, and then get a light pink to have it paint the rest of that mouth area, so that could be Vaporeon's tongue. Now you get a black paint with a very thin, tiny paintbrush that's like an eyeliner brush to do the outline of Vaporeon's mouth. The top part's almost gonna be the shape of a cat, and then you want to outline the bottom very precisely because this is a cartoon character and you do not want to have uneven screwed up lines. It's very difficult to do the black lines on cartoon characters on your face the most, more than anything, for some reason. I'm also getting this black cream paint and then shading in the burgundy part of this mouth a little bit because I felt like it needed more depth. Getting that black cream paint again and painting on the very little tiny triangle nose. This reminds me of the triangle nose of a jack-o'-lantern, but very minuscule. Like the size of the head of your eraser on the pencil when you have to go back to school. Now it is time to get Vaporeon's grand collar. Reminds me of a lion's mane, but mermaid-like. I made this myself using cardstock and paints, and I got all DIY and Martha Stewart on it. And I did little highlight paint marks on it, or shadowing, and adjust it to fit to my head, or around it, I should say. And now it is time to glue on Vaporeon's unicorn horn. Yes, Vaporeon has this unicorn horn fin that's right in the center, top part of its head. And that unicorn horn of Vaporeon, the little top fin part on the upper part of its head kept falling off, and it was very distracting and sad. So I just moved on with gluing the other fin ear to my head. I used Prose when I glued on all of these cardstock pieces that I made that I'm showing you here, applying it to my face. And I got some makeup, unfortunately, on the fin. I tried to cover it up with some paint. This sounds like it's becoming a disaster, honestly. So I moved on to painting Vaporeon's eyes. I got some dark blue cream paint first and painted that under on my bottom eyelids. And then I got some white cream paint and did the highlight marks of Vaporeon's pupils. You want this white paint to look like a little white bean on your eyelid. And now it's time to move on to the black paint of your eyes. You want the eyes to have a very big angular shape, almost like an angular teardrop, as weird as that sounds. And you want to paint around those white parts and the blue parts of the eye that we did, making sure you paint in those outlines where you can still see our natural skin. We don't even want to look human anymore. We want to look like a Pokemon. And then I almost forgot this step. I should have done it before painting on these eyes, but I'm going to get a black cream paint with a very thin eyeliner brush like we did before with the mouth, but on that angular forehead piece of the dark blue part of Vaporeon's head. And now it is finally time to put that blue unicorn piece, that little horn fin on top of Vaporeon's head back on, and make sure it sticks this time. Second time's a charm. And with that, we are completely done with our Vaporeon makeup transformation from the video game Pokemon Go. I am a huge die-hard fan of Pokemon. I had to do a Pokemon makeup. Being Japanese myself, I feel like I just had to do this for my people, even though it's kind of creepy and weird, but I think it's still cool at the same time. I hope I made some Pokemon fans proud, even though this is a little weird. I still think it's cool. But sadly, it is time to wipe off Vaporeon, my favorite Pokemon, off my face. I was trying to rip off all these head pieces first, but I forgot they were attached to this ball cap very strongly with Prozaid, so I had to get some isopropyl myricate, and I found that soaking isopropyl myricate in a disposable makeup sponge is totally the best way to go about it. Taking blue paint off of your neck and chest is quite an ordeal, as long as it's not the darkest of blues. All the products I use in this video will be listed down below in the description box as always. If you guys do this makeup or any makeups on my channel, good luck. Some of them are challenging, but I know you could do it. You guys could post them on your Instagram and tag me, #catsketch, so I can see them and post them like a proud mom of all you guys and your talents. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me. It's time for me to get onto my Pokemon Go. I'm on level 15 currently, and I need to take a shower right now and get going, but I love you all. See you soon. Bye.